Hello, artists. How are you doing? Okay, we're just rolling right along here. Now, this is a wooden laser cut thing. This particular one came out of this set of snowflakes. Now, the reason why I did grab these is I have, some ideas coming up, but these do not have to stay as snowflakes because you can cut them in half and you can use different elements out of it. So just because it reads as a snowflake like this does not mean that it would have to always read as a snowflake. Maybe I'll show you off of this one, because I do have some projects coming up that I have these in mind for. Now, I could use these as ornaments also, and I can decorate these as ornaments the way that I'm going to show you. Which, sorry, I got a little bit sidetracked there. So I'm going to show you how to do this real quick. And since we had the Deco foil out here for a while, we're going to pull out some more Deco foil. Super easy here. This is photo mount spray adhesive. You can use any spray adhesive. Does not have to be a specific brand. All right. Do this outside or in a ventilated area. It is a little toxic. It does get all over the place, so spray it into a box if you have it. I just sprayed it into my trash can, and I am sure that I will not be enjoying that later. So, right. You kind of let it dry here a little bit so that it can become sticky. I got a little bit much on there, right there. There we go. You want to leave the mount on there, the photo mount. There, now it's getting sticky. So if you just kind of give it a second to dry, it works a little bit better. What color do I want? I want to do gold. So, Deco foil, you put shiny side up. Okay, shiny side up. Again, this is iCraft Deco foil for fabric and paper transfer sheets. These are transfer sheets. And we're going to go ahead and just take the back of a pencil or a paintbrush, or actually probably what would work better, like your bone folder. Something flat. We want it to adhere well. Oh, that should make it adhere well. So those were the spots, I think, where it was a little thicker. I'm going to come over it with some of this red and see if we can't pick up or put down some more. Nope, we can't. All right. You can put a little bit more spray on it. I don't know if we really want to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and do that because it's really bright. And I got a really thick coat on there. Probably not good. Sticking stuff together. I'm just going to plop it down. That's where it was muddy. I'm trying to get a layered effect. And it does pull up some of the other stuff, so that's why kind of works best to just do it once and leave it. But that is not how you get the variety of color either. You get the variety of color by layering Alright, so to let you know, you could gesso these white or black before you do it. I know, there it is. Or you can take your stays on, use your permanent ink here, and tone them down. And that is how I got this to be what it is. I don't like the fact that I lost all the gold right there in the center. I can't put any of that back on there. But that's how I got this to look this way. Now, while I like that as kind of a crown feeling, I'm not going to use it on this particular collage. I don't think. No. But I did want to show you how I got this guy to look the way I did. And as you can see, this has gold, blue, and red Deco foils on it. Ta-da! But that's how you make it be that. Okay. Yeah, and it would probably be easier if you colored it before you put on the foil. If you color it after you put on the foil, it gives it a more vintage look. It takes down the gold, so it's not quite as brassy. Okay. All right, I'll be back to show you the next part. Hello, artist. Okay, we're doing the voiceover so that we can fast forward you through the process. So we have this Day of the Dead type feeling, and taking the napkin background that is of course on the watercolor paper, that's what all these backgrounds were done with. I'm taking some distress crayons and I'm coloring the edges. I didn't really know how much I was going to use of the napkin background, so I did probably a little bit more than what I needed to there. Distress crayons, and then you put a little bit of Mod Podge over the top of it, and you get a really beautiful, vibrant color. Definitely squeeze out all the water that is on your paintbrush before you start to do this process. You don't use a ton of glue, so... Alright, this is simply a piece of scrapbook paper that has been run through my cuttlebug that has some metallic paint over the top of it. I am cutting it down substantially. There you might have noticed, boy, that went by really quick. I did make all of my edges quite straight because I wanted the one ragged edge, and then I did want a torn edge, but I wanted it to be straight, so I used the 90-degree angle. Anytime that you're using a heavier piece of paper, tacky glue or Fabri-Tac is recommended over Mod Podge. Okay, so I really loved the contrast between the green and the red of the napkin. So here I am putting it down with some more tacky glue. I am cleaning up all of the glue that's on the edges. You know, you do see those little bits of glue, and it's just part of craftsmanship, and I take that extra minute to clean up my edges before I let them dry. So I put on something heavy to let all of that dry together. Here I'm just using some Arteza brown paint, copper. in, my goodness, I've got this going so fast. I folded over another piece of that cuttlebuged paper and in a different color, and then I picked out my words, and then I'm gluing them down. Unfortunately, I did get a bit of paint over that, over those words, so I ended up going back and redoing that in the white lettering. So the cool thing about those Tim Holtz packages of phrases is that he does give you both phrases in both black backgrounds and white backgrounds, so you do get basically two sets. Here I am taking my Timber Brown StazOn, giving it a good vintage look, giving it some covering. Here's where I decide to go back and put the white letters over the black letters. The black letters just weren't reading clearly. The one thing that I might still do is go over with one of my real brush pens or with some distress ink and tone down those white letters. Okay, here we're doing the stabilo, going around all the edges, and then I believe I'm going to bring in my stumpy brush. Oh, just to let you know what the words say. Embrace beautiful chaos. Be brave with your life. Do more than exist. I love that, embrace beautiful chaos. So, okay, so I'm taking my stumpy brush because I want kind of a smokier, broader line to this. And then you'll see me here in a few minutes. I'll go through with kind of a Kelly green color Arteza real brush pen to go through and give additional shadows. But I want to keep that green as green as possible. The contrast between the red napkin, the green, and then picking up the reds within the skull itself really was, it just makes it into a really beautiful, rich piece of art. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. So yeah, I'll probably be toning down those white letters though. You know, I'm not a real big fan of white. Here is the Kelly green real brush pen, and it does kind of give us a bluer tone. It allows us to push some shadows into that shimmer metallic paint that the Cuttlebug piece of paper is. So I've decided it's not quite done yet, and I grab out my eyelets and I grab my leather punch. I make a hole. It was too small, made a second hole, putting in the eyelet, and then using my handy dandy tool. Now I'm taking a bit of leather and stringing it through. Now I do have a crop-a-dile. The only time that I use my crop-a-dile is if I have to get in somewhere deep. I find it to be very cumbersome. So that little handheld eyelet setter is really fun. Well, there is the finished project. Ooh, looky, Ozzy meets a kitty. Oh, the kitty was so bold. Now this is my friend's kitten. There was a litter of 5. His feral cat that hangs out at his property had 5 kittens, and when they were about 10 days old, he brought them inside once he could get to them, and they've been mostly domesticated, although they are pretty wild. I will not be getting a kitten, unfortunately. I cannot have one here. Alright guys, I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe if you like this video. Be sure to like and leave a comment. I love you bunches, and I hope you're staying safe. Bye bye.